Welcome to Absolutely Marvel and DC. My name is Benny, that is Dan, and that is Dylan, and we're going to talk about Superman. Guys, I caught up! I'm on a Superman episode!
He's here! Look at him!
Have you said every week that
lying.
Benny said he'll be here next week?
Not every week, but definitely the weeks where you were like, I'm gonna catch up.
I did! I was almost caught up by the mid-season break. And then I almost didn't catch up in time for the show to come back, but I did.
Do you remember what we said when you were like, "Don't worry, I've got 2 weeks to do this," and we were like, "And you're gonna wait till the day before."
It was the day before, and I got on and I watched the weird recap episode, and I hit up Dylan. And it was like, "Yeah, don't worry about the new episode; it's a recap." And he goes, "No, that was one of the older ones, Betty. You still technically hadn't caught up."
Ago.
Yeah. So how do you want to handle this, Dylan? Since you're normally the host of this, I assume. How do you want to handle me having watched all however many episodes are on?
Well, so we're talking about 2 episodes today, this week's and last week. So that's season 1 episodes 12 and 13. We're probably gonna spend the majority talking about 12 because not a lot happened in 13.
13 feels like a weird decision. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, so like 12 was the big kind of finale of the season.
I thought it was the finale of
too.
the season.
But there's 3 episodes left, including 13, so 2 episodes left after this. But yeah, so 12 is the one where, you know, the big cliffhanger after their like 3-week long break was that Superman was turned by Edge. And
his brother, not Edge. He's not Edge.
He's still, his name is still Morgan Edge.
He was not turned. He was not turned. He was inhabited by the spirit of Zod.
Yes.
Which was partially what I kind of said in a
yeah, sort of. And then
way.
I think when we get to the end of 13, I think maybe Zod's back and you were right all along.
Okay.
Where? Okay, real quick question. Where is Zod in this universe? Has he arrived in Supergirl or anything? Okay,
nope.
So it's not like he showed up and like Luthor kind of a thing, where it was
also this universe. I don't.
Yes,
we'll get to there. That's gonna be a video that we'll do at some point about the CW multiverse. So I guess we could talk about the elephant in the room for this episode. Diggle showing up. We'll get that out of the way real quick.
Yeah, it's in the universe with everything else. There's no problems, no questions. Don't go into it.
Yeah, none of the problems that we that arose with the premise of this show. That don't think about them. That they had twins on a different planet and everything like that, and they haven't even been around this whole time. But we're just ignoring the crisis finale of him. Yeah, and everyone hasn't aged 16 years. Who knows what's going on? But yeah, the Diggle shows up. We're not really going to talk about it because it doesn't make any sense. We're going to do a different video about that.
There's no real reason either.
Yeah, no, he shows up because, again, like, they're setting up Green Lantern, so he needs to show up in all the shows.
The weird part about him being there and then going to the Flash is, this one resolves with him basically being like, I gotta go check the box. I gotta own up to this Green Lantern ring. And then in the Flash crossover, he's like, meh, I don't want to do that.
That's the opposite. He doesn't say that in this one. He doesn't say anything about the box. Yeah, because this one... In this one, he's written well, and he's just Diggle. Like, he shows up, and he's like, hi, guys. I know, like, technically we haven't met on screen at all ever, but, like, it would make sense that we would know each other.
Right,
because I work for Argus, and you work for the DOD. And he's just, like, a well-written character, like he was on Arrow. Beyond the Flash, he's just like, I got headaches. I gotta talk about a box. I don't know what's going on with him.
Headache.
I did like Diggle's appearance in this real quick though, because I did like where he's like, "Wait, you're from another universe? Why wasn't I informed?" Like,
yeah,
right.
Which, like, is that now the core cast of the CW verse learning that the multiverse is still around? Was that the big moment?
Right.
I don't know. Again, we need to move on because this is a whole can of worms. But the stuff that actually matters in this episode is that Superman, he beats Edge by not, like, so one thing that both Dan and I kind of wished wasn't gonna happen is, like, Lois just, like, talking Superman off the edge and being like, no, you're nice, remember yourself.
I like that.
And that didn't happen.
Yeah,
but it kind of happened.
It did and it didn't. Yeah.
So yeah, the they do it kind of interestingly in this I think, because they do the you know, remember who you are thing, which whatever, but I think that it's a trope, but like they set it up well in this episode because Steel is the one to deliver it, and
well, the whole idea behind it was on this universe he does have that stuff. Like they set all of that up, so I was like, okay, I'll accept it. We knew it was coming, but I'll accept it.
Yeah, and it's also like it's like a kind of a double thing, right? Because it's not only is it Steel talking Superman off the edge, but it's off the edge, but it's also
off the
Steel
edge.
Talking himself off of the edge because he's like, you know, I'm gonna kill Superman, and then he doesn't because he realizes like, oh, Superman's like a nice dude, and now like, you know, they connect as fathers, which I think was like, I don't know why both the Flash and Superman and Lois have such like a strong like theme of family, but like clearly it works way better in this show than it does over on the Flash.
Well, because he actually has a family.
I was gonna say,
it's a normal one.
Family.
It's true.
I have a wife. I have 2 kids. Boom. Like,
and they're actually his kids, not mystical forces of nature.
I gave birth to mystical forces
points.
of nature that are in 40-year-old women that are now, I'm going to call my daughter.
Yeah. Oh, God. I thought of something that I should have mentioned in the Flash episode, but it's just... Anyway, we'll move on. This isn't the Flash discussion.
We're back into ranting about the Flash.
Yeah, it can't be escaped. There's so much about it. But anyway, yeah, I really liked that because that was kind of the pivotal moment, right? Is like the how are you going to stop Superman? Are you going to kill him? They didn't, which I was the one who was like, they're going to kill Superman, and they didn't. So
that would have been an interesting
wrong.
turn, like that they were going to kill Superman. I didn't think they would do that though. I didn't. No. I was like, you can't have a show called Superman and Lois and just kill them off immediately to match it up with the comics where the young kid became Superman. Oh, wait, they're doing that right now. No.
Well, no, I didn't think they were going to kill Superman and then not have a Superman. I thought they were going to kill Superman and immediately put him into the healing coma, like saying he's going to come back.
Okay.
But because they had all the pieces for the death and return of Superman, and they still do, and we have 2 episodes left.
I was going to say, that's going to happen in 2 episodes. It'll be the end of the season.
No, they better make it Doomsday.
No.
They have Superman and the death of Superman set up. We have to get Doomsday. Don't half-ass this, CW. Do not come back and be like,
I don't think they've half-assed it.
Doomsday would be next season.
Edge just punched him really hard.
I would see Doomsday as next season, to be perfectly
Doomsday
honest.
would be great for next season. You could do like a 3-episode arc where he just storms through things, killing everything.
Right.
There you go.
So something to bridge into the next episode here. Another thing that I really liked about this episode, episode 12, was that this version of Superman is like a super, like he doesn't have an ego about him, and he's a very responsible Superman, and that manifests, I think, in like Steel the whole time is telling Lois, like, why do you think Clark called me? Clark called me because he wants me to kill him. He wouldn't have called me otherwise.
Yeah.
And Lois is like, no, there's no way. He wouldn't do that. And then it's revealed that, yes, that is exactly the reason why Clark called Steel.
It ties into our current episode, 13 or 12, whatever we're on, where he's like, no, keep the weapons. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but he's prepping
that was
the
my
world
segue.
trip. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
So you can talk about it. I give you permission.
Oh, I feel like we're going down that path where he wants us to be like the Earth to be prepared to fight him, which is, I think we're going to go full evil Superman eventually. Like,
I think because based on, I don't think they're going to do that, because I think if they were going to do that, they would have already done that when he turned.
I think it's like a season 3-4 plan. I think I think they're setting it up so that there's a way to fight him now, and John's going to get more and more power. Or what's the other one?
Jordan.
Oh my gosh!
Jordan.
I just had a
or Jordan
theory.
and John are going to get it,
Dan?
and they're going to have to fight him. What's that?
I just had a great theory, combining kind of what both of you are saying. If Clark does die, goes into the healing matrix, what if Zod's soul is still within Clark and actually gets resurrected because he is also Kryptonian in the Kryptonian resurrection matrix?
That's the part that's interesting.
That's the part we get the evil Superman
but
as
not real.
Zod in Superman's body kind of thing. But like actually, because we can tell we've got the Eradicator coming, and he's going to get rid of part of...
That's my new theory. You know what? screw it. I'm going to stick to Superman is dying just because. I
Don't
think,
worry, I stuck to it's not Kang for 6 episodes.
Superman probably isn't dying, and my theory like counteracts that. But I think what's happening is the reason that this episode exists, aside from just like filler to fill in like town drama and stuff, is they really want to enforce the fact that the government has things that can kill a Superman.
Yes.
And I think the Superman that they're going to kill is Edge. And I don't think it's going to be Edge. I think it's going to be Zod. I think the original plan that Edge's lizard grandpa father man.
Yeah.
Okay, what is with him
looks-
looking like Emperor Palpatine? Like,
I
what-
don't know. Nobody knows. Weird casting decision.
This is like, yes, Edge, go get me Superman.
They were just like, okay, just make it look like really villainous. Like, make it look like
Yep.
someone that in no way would you go, I trust this guy.
They're obsessed with Star Wars. We have Palpatine
Yes, they
and a
are.
lightsaber fight. This is CW being like, see, Disney, we could do a show. You should
They
give
even
us
had
the...
George Lucas on an episode of Legends of Tomorrow way back when.
Yeah, they did.
But yeah, so I think what's going to happen is the original plan was for Zod to take over Edge's body, and that's what his father wanted. But probably because his father was like, if you put Zod in Superman, that like little weakling Kal-El, then something's going to go wrong, and he was right. So I feel like that's what's happening now. Is Zod is now like Edge is dead. Like that, Superman's brother is dead, and Zod is here now, and he's the Eradicator, and he's gonna mess some stuff up. And now they're going to need to kill Zod, and that's why we spent so long setting up the fact that like the DoD has all these weapons and they're not being buried. Which like I don't trust Sam, even when he said like I'm gonna put all these under the ocean.
No,
I don't
not at
believe
all.
you, buddy.
And that
Yeah,
actor
you didn't
is
even
so
mention-
good. That actor
He's
is so
very
good.
good.
Yeah.
He's
If you don't
great
know,
at
he's
his
from
role.
Nip Tuck, and that show was incredible. And he did a lot of shady stuff in that show too. So that actor's really
Nice.
good. My prediction: Zod / Edge / Eradicator, going into all those theories.
The Zeducator.
The
of course.
Zeducator
Yeah.
is going to decimate Clark. They're going to use all their Kryptonian stuff against him to weaken him, and Jordan's going to finish it up. That's what I think is going to happen.
Nah,
I think they're long-
But Jordan
yeah.
will get smacked aside, and then Jonathan will be like, "It's my time to
Finally.
shine," and then he'll finally get his powers.
He's going to have a Gohan moment where he's going to like get
Yep.
chucked into the ground and then just get up like, ah!
Exactly.
I feel like their long season plan is in the kids. I don't think they're gonna have their like finally I'm the one who's fighting moment for a while. I think they're gonna hold that back, because also like we have to think about like this show. I don't want to give it too much credit because then I'll look like an idiot when it inevitably in like season 12 or whatever gets terrible.
Like Flash?
But yes, but like this show for the most part has been like smart with its writing. Like all of the plots have gone somewhere with the exception of the stuff in episode 4. And everything's kind of made sense and has gone into a place, and we haven't really had like the classic like CW like whoa then this happens type stuff. And I feel like a lot of like the like if Doomsday came out of nowhere, or Jordan like suddenly was so powerful that he could beat like Zod and whatever.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, it probably isn't going to happen just because the writers kind of want to tell like an actual story.
I do. The only one that so far doesn't seem to be going anywhere, but I'm actually trusting that it will, is just the town thing. Like, I
Yeah.
kind of thought the Lana, and I don't know the guy's name. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Kyle.
Yeah. I thought that was going to kind of end when we discovered, like, oh, he had a Kryptonian personality in him. He's out of it. No one trusts him. Boom. But they seem to be going somewhere with it.
Yeah.
Like, it keeps coming up.
I think they're just writing them out of the show.
You think so? Because they did mention they're going to move.
Yeah.
So
I have a feeling that they're not going to move. I thought that was the whole point. Like the whole point of the Lana stuff was to push Lois to giving the statement from her dad to the
Right.
newspaper to get the information out of what actually happened.
yeah.
And then that's going to come out, and hopefully make it so that they can stay, but it's probably also going to put it in a place where they could very easily go, okay, well, we accept that people are different now, but they still did what they did, so we're still going to leave.
Actually, I want to bring that up because that's actually one of the things I've enjoyed about the show ever since I got past the hump of 4 and 5. I really enjoy the Superman Lois dynamic that we've gotten for this whole thing, and I really enjoy that the show seems to be doing these 3 to 4 episode arcs, but also having the through line of something happening, but things like there's a lot of shorter time things happening. But one thing that I really am enjoying is them having to deal with the fact that they are Clark and Lois and Superman and Lois, and how they can't reveal their lives and how this is affecting. Like Lois is not just on the farm. Like, I'm not going to do my job and tell no one. We're seeing her having to go like, well, yeah, if I reveal this and I reveal that I'm married to Superman and he has kids, so we can't really reveal that. Because that when General Lane brought up, he's like, what am I supposed to say? That was Superman's brother? Yeah, you're about to open a whole can of worms of people wanting to have answers. And like,
yeah.
I like that we're exploring that dynamic of how does he keep his family life separate? How is that going to work? Because when it comes to like Flash, for example, they're very bad about it making any sense that Barry is Barry Allen and the Flash.
Right.
Like everyone in the inner circle knows. There is nobody who doesn't know. And if you get into Star Labs in 2 episodes, you discover it's Team Flash. Like,
yeah, you look over and go, Barry, Flash. Wait a second.
They spend no time on that show, on most of the shows, honestly, like dealing with the kind of the grounded, like like the small town aspect of superheroes.
The only one that did was Black Lightning season 1 was all about that. Like, I'm the principal and I don't want to get involved with, you don't need to know that I'm Black Lightning. And I loved that. That was one of the things I loved about that show. They did a very good juggling act of humanizing and superheroism. And that's what I feel like Superman and Lois is doing, which is weird because the one with the super powered guy, you think they would have just been like, throw out the Clark and Lois side. He's Superman and Lois.
Right.
What else is there? Like,
well, I feel like they differentiated that with the fact that they are in Smallville, because they even make the line in the episode that this is the kind of thing that happens in small towns, because if they were back in Metropolis, they wouldn't have to worry about the family life and stuff like that. So I actually, like, because I really agree that it is a tricky spot for them to put in, as well as it's interesting seeing Lois's character put in this position of the true conflict of interest of what she wants to reveal, what actually happened, what she's not allowed to reveal, and what she can and cannot reveal for the safety of her family throughout all of it. And I'm glad this entire topic is making me glad that they did move to Smallville to do this, and this wasn't a Superman and Lois story in Metropolis, because a lot of these plot points and like just plot directions and possibilities are open because it's a small town, as opposed to a big city where there's just hundreds of people who knows who that person is. Whereas a small town, you're like, everyone knows that person. It's Jim.
I also like the fact that we've gone in this direction because it does leave the door open that if it starts to get stale 4 or 5 seasons in, it's like, and now we're going back to Metropolis.
Exactly.
You know, like
yeah.
Yeah, there's that's the thing about like this show is it like lost faith for a lot of people, then restored it really quickly. Like past that, like Benny, you mentioned that episode 5 hump, and I don't know how it was able to do it, but it did it, and it's like it is one of the most focused and consistent shows in like the ones that we talk about. And I do think like a lot of that is due to like the setting, because in most of these shows, like the city is just a backdrop, right? Like it doesn't matter. It's just where it's all just Vancouver, like wherever they shoot this stuff. It doesn't, who cares?
Wow. Central City looks a lot like Star City. It looks a lot like Metropolis. It looks a lot like.
So it's a huge, it's a nice change of pace to not only see like a different type of setting, just visually speaking, but also like where it's actually part of the story and it matters, which makes so much sense for a show about not only Superman, but Lois Lane, who's a reporter and deals with like the people. Like it's just so well handled. And I don't, like, Dan, you said this before we started recording, that you never thought you'd be able to say that you enjoy watching Superman and Lois. And I agree. This show is like completely like blown me away with
Yeah.
with how much fun it is.
It's what a CW show could be. And one thing, you brought up Lois and her reporter side. That's my biggest argument with Iris over on Flash. She's just spinning her wheels doing nothing. She has earned nothing. She's done nothing. She was the damsel in distress for 3 seasons, and then they just tried to make her, well, she married the Flash, so now she gets to say what she wants to do. And my biggest complaint about Iris, because I have this video that still blows up a comic story, why Iris ruined season 4 of The Flash, they never knew what to do with her. Ever. And you have a character who's almost as important as Lois Lane is on the reporter side with a lot of aspect. And I feel like the Flash is dipping into that, but then they forget it happens. Like, oh, she's a reporter when we need her to be. Like, and that's what they do. While over here, it's like, no, Lois Lane is the mother. She's the like, she handles the family, and she is a reporter. And in the first couple of episodes, she has a newspaper, and this is a plot point. And that's what you're getting with Superman and Lois. Superman is Superman. Lois is the reporter, well known for breaking stories. She's married to Superman. Her father's running the DOD. And we're going to keep that plot line going. We're not just going to throw it out and be like, and now she's just going to walk around with Clark. You know what I mean? Like, I like that. She has a purpose.
Yeah, the difference between like the writing styles of this show and like The Flash is like this show, they sit down and they're like, okay, this is what our characters are doing. They're not tools, they're characters.
Yeah.
And they all have a reason for existing, and the plot lines that they're doing are to converge at one point. And then The Flash, they just like wake up Monday night before the episode airs and are like, oh God, we got to do something quick. Wait, we have a reporter on the show, right? Yeah, okay. Bring her over.
Frost
do this.
Lady, she can
Allegra?
freeze things.
Who? Put her in the show.
I still don't know why she's there.
Nobody does.
Why is she there? She's just...
You could say that about most characters on The Flash.
Yeah.
We could remove, it's funny because if we look at the Superman storyline, you're not going to remove Superman Lois. Jonathan and Jordan grew on me. We're not removing them. Even that girl Jordan's dating, like, she's in enough that I'm interested in what's happening over there and her reactions to her family, but she's not overbearing and she's not being forced into the main family. You know, Lana and Kyle, I want to know what's going to happen with them and their reactions. I want to know what's happening to General Lane. Once Henry Irons' storyline was mostly wrapped up, he took a back seat. It's not like he just shows up there was a scene in the latest episode where he's like, yeah, I think I'm just going to move on.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Let her go.
Right, exactly. Like my purpose in the story is done. So I showed up twice in the episode. Like, but like you go over to The Flash and it's like this latest episode. Hey, every cast member that's ever existed, we should pull them in. Like,
Right.
I'm surprised freaking, what did I start? Frost Chad didn't show up in this episode of The Flash.
I thought, yeah, okay, that's
her.
a different one. We're not on that show.
I'm just saying, like, that's the difference. Like, when I watched the finale to The Flash, I would not have been surprised if Chill Blaine showed up. Chill Chad? If Chad Blaine had showed up, I would have been fine. I would have been like, oh, that's The Flash. But over here, it's like John Henry Irons did his purpose, and they're going to offer him a job, and he turned it down, and he's going to leave. And maybe he'll stick around, but the plot is not forcing him in. It's not like he just shows up at Clark's house now like, so what's going on, guys? Do you need me to suit up? Are we going somewhere, Clark? Like,
Right.
It's even in the stuff where it's just like, you know, small town drama. Like, it seems like everything has a purpose. And even in this latest episode, which was mostly filler, I wasn't bored at any point because all of this stuff has like taken a back seat for the most part. It's not like even in this show, I can use an example in that 4th or 5th episode when they're cutting between high octane action and then like Jordan talking to Sarah, and it's just like complete like different tones. Like they learn from that clearly because all of this stuff has taken a back seat up until it's like, okay, now we have a moment to breathe because Edge is behind bars. And they dealt with Leslie Lar like immediately, so it's like we can focus on the stuff like the CW stuff that they want in this show without being a detriment to the larger plot.
this is the first time in a CW show when John was with the girl that he had the crush on, only to find out she wanted information, that I actually was paying attention. Like, like to that CW kid drama where they're sitting out and she's asking him questions like, "Oh, John, how do you not see it, man?" Like, I was invested in that part. That's
Right.
how good the show is. It's hooking me into the parts of the other shows where I go, "So, what's happening on Twitter?" Like, "Oh no, John, how dumb are you?"
Good for this show for making us like be interested in like the, I don't know, the plot, like you said, like the tropey stuff that no one usually cares about in these shows. Like and good for Jonathan for like not just being like, "Oh, okay, you're gonna kiss me, right? I don't care what you want." It's like he's like, "I'm gonna leave. Like, screw you, lady."
I was surprised. Classic CW would have been like, "Well, Mom, I had to tell her everything because we want another cast member and she touched my pee-pee." Like,
Exactly.
like that would have been classic CW where we just got a new cast member who's going to get kryptonite powers in 3 episodes.
Oh, God.
Right.
But John's like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm out. I'm going to walk home." My thought with that was, how far is the farm from here? Like,
Yeah, I had that thought too, but it's Smallville. It was probably like, and they actually did make a point because she said, "You live around here, right?"
Yeah.
So he probably was close to home. So they solved that. Wow.
Yeah.
Writing.
because he said that, and I'm like, I hope it's not like a 20-mile walk. We just get to come in and having him walking in. Like
He's walking back. I really hope my super speed kicks in any time.
Yeah.
Now.
Jordan has his super speed. I don't have mine yet.
If I was Jonathan, I would totally be like, "Hey, Dad, I'm like 19 miles from home. I know you can probably hear me. I need a ride. Can you come pick me up?"
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like I've been tweeting about it how amazing Superman is. It was weird because episodes 1 or 2 I kind of checked out. I was like, we're doing the CW thing. It's not gonna be about Superman. It's not gonna be about the kids. It's gonna be about the drama at the high school with the kids in the background. And then I stopped watching, and that's when I told you guys, like, I'll come back next week. But I had so many other things to watch. It was like, I don't care to watch it. But you guys kept telling me it gets good. So I finally sat down, and I know some people liked it, because some people told me that on Twitter, but I literally was like, once you get up to episode 5, it didn't hook me, but I was at least at a watchable point with it. And by episode 8 is when the other shoe dropped, and I was like, I'm in. What is happening, man? Like, he's got a brother, and they're doing Superman fights, and we got Steel. Come on.
Hell yeah. It's good, solid stuff.
Yeah, and luckily for me, I didn't have the mid-season hump because I just watched all the way up to that point. So
True.
This is true.
Probably better bingeable. I think we've realized that too because of how where it goes. I mean, that 4th episode is still garbage, but like because a lot of my early complaints about the show I remember were stuff like, where is this going? Like it probably is gonna, but it just seemed unfocused. But with the context of what we know now, it probably is more focused watching it back. So
Yeah. So I just close out the episode then, and then just plug that in when you need it. All right.
Am I doing it or are you doing it, Ben?
that was me.
Who's the host?
I mean, usually
My name's
it's you,
Benny, but Dylan's the host. Say goodbye, Dylan.
Am I the host? You opened it. We're co-hosting. Triple host. Dan, you close the show. You never do.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. This was absolutely Marvel and DC. We review the different shows here. That's Dylan. That's Benny. I'm Dan. We'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.